So I've got the Big-M 7.5 on deck, and it's the only rod up there. I'm gonna work on deep cranking today. And you know, what do you look for when you're deep cranking? You know, that 20-foot plus range. And basically what we look for is just main points, main drop-offs. Fish all through the summertime and into the fall, they relate to main drop-off. So what that means is we're gonna stay in the main channel. So I got my Humminbird Lake Master chip here, and it shows me that pink line is the main channel. So any point that sticks out into the main channel then drops off with those real tight contour lines, I'm gonna go ahead and idle over, and looking at down imaging, 2D and side imaging, it's gonna show me exactly what's down there. This is all silt, okay? The river comes in up here, it's all silt. Whenever you have a bunch of silt in the lake and then you find a hard spot, whether it be a hump, a drop off, whenever you find a hard bottom amongst a silted in lake, that's the deal. As you can see here, my side imaging is going back to dark. That means there's the silt. So we're gonna turn back around here and fish those high color returns, and that's when I'm gonna grind that Big-M 7.5 from about 16 to 22 feet. So I'm gonna line up here and make the cast to those waypoints. You know, the nice thing about fishing offshore with a 5+ mile-an-hour breeze, whether it's blowing 5, 15, or 20, as soon as I get done idling an offshore spot like that and dropping a couple of waypoints, all I gotta do is kill the motor, hop up here, dump the trolling motor in the water in that Ultrex, and just hit spot lock. And basically I can turn my back to the trolling motor, and I know that my waypoints are placed right out here to the right and right out here to the left. This Big-M 7.5 is really just grinding the bottom down here in 14 to 16 feet off to my left side. And then that cast out to the right, I'm gonna be fishing it down in 20 to 22 feet of water. When you're fishing offshore and you've located a school of bass, they live out there pretty much all summer long. After they get done spawning, they move out to the ends of these points and humps next to the main channel. And when they hang out there, you know, they don't really feed until schools of shad or schools of bait fish come by. So if you happen to end up on a spot where the bass are just kind of, lethargic, hanging out, there really isn't the presence of bait down there, take that Big-M 7.5 and absolutely burn it through there to get that reaction bite. Much like you're fishing the bank with a square bill, where you really want to get them to react to it by ricocheting off of the bottom. Same thing with the Big-M 7.5 down there in 25 feet of water. 7'11", Orochi XX launcher. You have to make the longest cast possible with the wind. 300 size reel, giant reel, 15-pound line. And I'm grinding this bait down in 22 feet of water. But as soon as that bait hits the water, it's moving instantly. It's shaking, it's wobbling, and it's got a real unique roll action to it, to where it flashes. Instead of a real wide wobble that fatigues you, it's got a nice little roll and shimmy, but you could really feel it in your rod, just kind of banging back and forth. On this Big-M 7.5, it's got a thinner bill, equaling less resistance and a real steep diving angle. The thinner the bill, the less resistance it's going to have, the less fatigue you're going to have. Again, with like any other crankbait or treble hook bait, when one eats it, all you do is rotate your hips and load up that cranking rod. Although it's a moderate action rod, it's got a lot of power to it, so just rotating your hips and your torso is all you need to set the hook with 15-pound fluorocarbon.